I'm not seeing a situation where the US is walking. I'm seeing a situation where under President Trump's leadership, this could be brought to a positive end. And that is very important, and I really want to thank him for that.
Do you think that the Russian president wants to make peace?
I don't know. I worked with him for 4 years, between 2010 and 2014, when I was Prime Minister of the Netherlands, and I stopped trying to read his mind. You mean President Putin? Huh? President Putin. You meant the Russian president?
Yeah.
Yes. So I worked with him for 4 years, between 2010 and 2014. I stopped trying to read his mind. We'll see, but there is something on the table now, I think, where the Ukrainians are really playing ball. And I think the ball is clearly in the Russian court now.
How does the global trade war affect NATO unity? Is it accurate to say that you urged U.S. officials not to pressure Ukraine into accepting a peace deal that favors Russia?
No, it's not accurate, no.
Do you think, Mr. Secretary General, thank you, Mr. Secretary General. How much are you encouraging other NATO allies to spend on their defense? What would you like that percentage to be?
Yes, it has to be considerably higher than this famous 2%, which we wanted to achieve by 2024. We have seen the last couple of days countries like Belgium and Spain and Italy saying we will reach the 2% in time for the summit. So that it's not 2024 but close. But clearly with 2% we cannot defend NATO territory. It has to be considerably higher. And I've said before, it has to be considerably north of 3%. And this is based not on an assumption, but based on careful planning. We know exactly which capabilities we need to reach. We know the gaps there are to keep NATO territory safe. And the good thing is that by spending so much more on the Canadian-European side, we will equalize with what the US is paying on its defense. And that means that with Trump 45, what we have seen is now hundreds of billions, now in total 700 billion spent more on defense on aggregate. But this will indeed bring in not billions, but trillions more for the coming years.
Upon your conversations that you've had here in Washington with the Defense Secretary, with President Trump, from your take, do they understand the threat that President Putin has on Europe as a whole, not just on Ukraine, but Europe as a whole, even to countries that aren't in NATO, like Moldova?
We all agree in NATO that Russia is the long-term threat to NATO territory, to the whole of the Euro-Atlantic territory.
Are you concerned about Turkey?
The president was asked about concessions. Are you aware of any concessions from the Ukrainians or the Russians? And should the Ukrainians be concerned that a deal won't be in their favor?
Well, you know, when you are in peace talks, somehow you have to negotiate. But I think I'm not helping a successful conclusion of these talks. And I really believe that some huge steps have been taken over the last couple of days. And the London meeting yesterday was successful. But I don't think it helps if I start to comment on itsy-bitsy bits of it. It doesn't work, so I'm not going to do that.
Are you concerned about Turkey and Syria?
Madam.
What's your message to the president when it comes to Crimea in terms of Ukraine keeping that or not? What was your message to the president?
Again, these talks are ongoing. It doesn't work, and it doesn't help if I'm going to comment on every aspect of talks and what might be on the table or not. So I don't want to do that.